This is Tom Giordano with Giordano Bookkeeping. In this video, I'm going to show you a simple way to track expenses by job using the sub customer feature in QBO. This should be used in conjunction with sales tracking by job, which I cover in a separate video, also using the sub customer feature. You should watch that video as well because one, I cover how to properly set up customers and sub customers, and two, so that you could learn both the sales and expense tracking by job, which will allow you to run an overall profit and loss report by job. And just as I mentioned in that video, the sales tracking video, there are multiple ways to track job profitability in QBO, but this is a simplified method that does not take much extra time for the business owner and gets them a very good picture of job profitability. So, why are we doing this and what does it get us? If you have a project based business, two things are likely true. One, you purchase materials that you use across multiple projects, like general materials that you buy in bulk. And two, you purchase materials that you use for just one specific project, maybe a particular type of raw material just used in this specialized custom project. For this second group of purchases, the job specific purchases, you want to track those expenses so you can match them directly with your revenue for that same job. While I understand that this may not capture every single expense related to that job, say for the materials that get used across multiple projects and some of them get used up, in this specific project, say, it does provide a very accurate snapshot of the job profitability and it gives you valuable insights like whether you priced or budgeted correctly for this job. All right, let's get started. So in order to keep this video shorter, I already set up my customer and sub customer and have invoices set up. And if you want to see more of those details, you can watch the sales by job video. So here we're going to go right into assigning an expense to a sub customer. I'm assuming here that you made a purchase with cash or card rather than check. Because if you bought it with a check, you would have just entered the same information that we're going to enter when you created or printed a check. And even if you don't print checks in QBO, you write them by hand, then you could still create a check in QuickBooks after the fact and put in the same exact information into that check that we are with this sub customer information. But for this video, let's just say it was not a check purchase, it was a credit card purchase. So for a credit card purchase, we are going to create an expense. So we'll go to expenses. All right, new transaction, expense. You can set up who you paid. You don't have to. I will, as the bookkeeper, I'll see that when it comes through. But if you want to just throw that on there, it doesn't hurt. So this is a credit card purchase, and this is important to put this in here because the purchase will come through your credit card statement feed, and that is how me as the bookkeeper, whoever your bookkeeper is, will be able to match the transaction to this expense that you're providing the detail for. All right, there we go. Now, just about every time, the category that we have here is going to be for um, cost of goods sold or materials because those are direct costs versus other things that appear lower down, further down on your profit and loss statement, like overhead items like advertising and rent, things like that. So this is going to be materials or cost of goods sold, whatever you want to call it. But that's the type of expense that we're talking about here. Okay. And the customer that we are dealing with is Cool Cars, and the job that we're talking about is the backyard job. All right. So that's it. We have the category, it's materials or cost of goods sold. We have the amount, and then we have the sub customer, which is the job. So this is going to be done like right after you make the purchase, or before I have a chance to go and categorize it. You'll put this information in so that when it does come through the credit card feed or the bank feed, if it was something through your checking account, then I'll be able to match it and put it where it's supposed to go. All right. Let's say that we have a second expense because we have two jobs under the sub customer, and you could put this information in. It's helpful, but you don't. It's not absolutely necessary. All right. Again, let's say it's a credit card purchase. Okay. Cost of goods sold, and this time you spent $1,500. This is for the side patio job. Okay, safe and close. All right, as I mentioned, I already had that sub customer set up underneath the parent customer, and there was already a few invoices out. So we were just adding some detail for purchases that we made for those specific jobs. Now we can run a report to see how we're doing on each of those jobs. All right, so I go to reports. I'm going to run a profit and loss by customer. I'm going to filter for the customer that I want to see. I want to see this one and I want to see that one. Okay. So you could see here on the backyard job, I have $2,500 in design income and I have $3,000 worth of materials or cost of goods sold. So for this project, I see that I have a $500 loss. Now let's look at the side patio job. For this job, I have income here. It was just fountains and garden. It's just down here because it was a different income stream, a different type of service being provided. So $3,200 was the invoice. That's how much I billed, and so far it's cost me $1,500. So I have a $1,700 profit. Now, if you did not do sub customers for these, all you would have seen is the total. So you'd have seen 5,700 of income and 4,500 of costs. And you would have said, "Oh, great, I have a $1,200 profit." Not realizing that the side patio job is carrying the backyard job. So now maybe next time you use this, this is useful information because next time you say, you know what, for that type of job, the backyard job, I have something very similar. I didn't price it right. It should have been a little bit more. I should have charged at least $500 more. Or I'm not going to buy those same materials from that same vendor because that was a little bit too high. And I knew that my price was correct, but I didn't realize how much my materials were going to cost. So you don't have that level of detail if you just put it all under one customer, or if you're not doing some sort of job tracking um, within QuickBooks. So now you know how to put your information in on expenses so that the expense can be categorized in a way that allows a profit and loss by job report to be run and give you the insights necessary to make better decisions and decisions in general in the future. Thanks for watching.